In a world dominated by screens and shallow interactions, one book still holds the secret to building real human connection, almost a century after it was written. Think about that. Almost a century. We have self-driving cars and can explore space, but the secrets to connecting with each other, to truly seeing and hearing each other, those are timeless, and they're more important now than ever. How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie isn't just a book, it's a blueprint for better relationships, stronger influence, and deeper success. And in this video, we'll dive into it, story by story, principle by principle, to give you the real tools to transform your life. You see, Dale Carnegie wasn't born a master of human connection. He started as a farm boy from Missouri, painfully shy, but he had a hunger to understand what made people tick, what made them connect, what made them follow. He became a teacher, but not just any teacher. He taught public speaking, a skill that forced him and his students to confront their fears and connect with an audience. Through that experience, he discovered something powerful. Technical skills might get you hired, but people skills are what make you successful. Think about it. What makes a great leader, a great friend, a great partner is not just their intelligence or their talent. It's their ability to connect, to inspire, to understand. That's what Carnegie teaches us. Let me tell you a story about Charles Schwab, the steel magnate. One day he found some of his workers smoking where they shouldn't be. Now he could have yelled, he could have reprimanded them, but he didn't. He walked over, offered them cigars, and said, "I'd appreciate it if you'd smoke these outside." They were disarmed, they felt respected, and you know what? They followed his request. That's the power of understanding. Criticism puts people on the defensive. It makes them build walls. But encouragement, a little kindness, a willingness to understand, that builds bridges. What Schwab understood, and what Carnegie emphasizes, is that nobody wins when you criticize. You might think you're proving a point, but you're really just pushing people away. You know, we all crave appreciation, don't we? Not just flattery, but real, genuine recognition for who we are and what we do. It's like sunshine for the soul. Carnegie tells a story about a bank president who was struggling to get his employees to follow new procedures. He tried everything, memos, meetings, even threats. Nothing worked. Then he had an idea. He started leaving little notes of appreciation on the desks of employees who were following the new procedures. And guess what? It worked like magic. People started responding. Why? Because they felt seen, they felt valued. That's the power of sincere appreciation. Now, this principle is all about understanding motivation. You see, you can't sell someone something they don't want. You can't convince them to do something unless they see the benefit for themselves. Carnegie illustrates this with a charming story about his dog, Rex. He loved to play fetch, but only if Carnegie held up a stick and pretended to throw it. Rex didn't care about the stick itself. He cared about the chase, the joy of retrieving it. It's the same with people. We're all motivated by different things. Find out what makes the other person tick. Show them how your idea, your product, your request benefits them. That's how you arouse an eager want. This is a big one. You know, Theodore Roosevelt, one of our greatest presidents, once said, "The royal road to a person's heart is to talk about the things he or she treasures most." People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. They can spot a phony a mile away. But when you're genuinely interested in them, when you ask questions and listen with your heart, you create a connection that's real and powerful. If you want to be interesting, be interested. It's as simple and as profound as that. A smile is a universal language. It transcends cultures and languages. It's a beacon of warmth, a sign of welcome. A smile says, "I'm glad to see you. You matter." Think about the people you're drawn to. Aren't they often the ones who smile easily and genuinely? A smile disarms. It puts people at ease. It creates an instant connection. It's such a simple act, yet it carries so much power. So the next time you interact with someone, remember to smile. You might just brighten their day and yours. Dale Carnegie tells a story about Jim Farley, a politician who had an incredible memory for names. Farley could remember the names of thousands of people he met. And you know what? People loved him for it. Why? Because a name is more than just a word. It's our identity. It's how we define ourselves in the world. When you remember someone's name, you're saying, "You matter to me. I see you. Respect that. Use it. Say their name with care." It's a small gesture that speaks volumes. You know, most people don't listen with the intent to understand. They listen with the intent to reply. They're just waiting for their turn to talk. But real connection, real influence comes from truly listening, from giving the other person your undivided attention, from asking questions that show you care, from being present with them in that moment. When you listen deeply, when you make someone feel heard, you create a space for them to open up, to share their thoughts and feelings. And that's the foundation of any strong relationship. Carnegie tells a story about a dinner party he attended where he met a botanist. Now, Carnegie knew nothing about botany, but he was fascinated by the man's passion, so he asked questions, he listened, and for 2 hours they talked about, you guessed it, plants. At the end of the evening, the botanist told Carnegie he was a most interesting conversationalist. The irony is, Carnegie barely said a word about himself. He simply tapped into the other person's passion. Talk about what they love. That's the bridge to real connection. Deep down, we all want to feel important. We want to feel valued, respected, appreciated. And when you can make someone feel that way, you create a bond that's hard to break. Now, this isn't about flattery or manipulation. It's about genuine appreciation for the other person's qualities, their achievements, their unique perspective. Notice the good in others. Acknowledge their efforts. Let them know you see their value. Do it honestly. Do it often, and you'll win hearts. You know, even if you win an argument, you lose. You might prove your point, but you'll likely damage the relationship, because arguments put people on the defensive. They make them dig in their heels. You can't force someone to agree with you by proving them wrong. You can, however, open their minds by listening to their perspective, by finding common ground, by seeking understanding rather than victory. Remember, a successful interaction isn't about being right. It's about building bridges. We all have our own beliefs, our own perspectives, shaped by our experiences and values, and when you dismiss someone's opinion, you're essentially dismissing a part of who they are. Instead of saying, "You're wrong, try this," that's an interesting perspective. I see it differently, but I love to understand where you're coming from. That simple shift in language can make all the difference. It shows respect. It invites dialogue. It opens doors instead of slamming them shut. You know, honey attracts more flies than vinegar. It's true in life and it's true in relationships. When you approach someone with a friendly demeanor, a warm tone, you create a positive atmosphere for communication. Even when things are difficult, even when you disagree, starting with kindness can make all the difference. It disarms people. It lowers defenses. It creates a space for connection, even amidst disagreement. People are much more likely to support something they feel they had a hand in creating. So instead of dictating or demanding, try guiding. Ask questions that lead them to your desired outcome. Plant seeds of ideas and let them blossom. Let them feel the ownership of the solution, the decision, the idea. It's a subtle shift, but a powerful one, because when people feel heard, when they feel like their ideas matter, they become invested in the outcome. True leadership isn't about wielding power, it's about inspiring change, and the best way to inspire change is to lead with empathy, understanding, and respect. Carnegie gives us a powerful framework for doing just that. First, begin with praise and honest appreciation. Acknowledge the good. Then, talk about your own mistakes before addressing theirs. It shows humility and builds trust. Ask questions instead of giving orders. Let the other person save face. And finally, praise every improvement, no matter how small, because recognition, even for the smallest steps, is fuel for growth. How to win friends and influence people isn't about manipulation, it's about transformation. It's about becoming the kind of person people want to be around, the kind of person who uplifts and inspires. When you make people feel heard, valued, and respected, you become unforgettable. You build bridges instead of walls. You create connections that nourish your soul and enrich your life. And in a world starving for connection, your ability to build those bridges might be the most powerful skill you'll ever learn. If this message helped you, like the video, share it with someone who could use it, and subscribe for more deep wisdom to help you live a fulfilled, connected life.